Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slow Blink Anime Podcast. My name is Phil.
I'm Candace.
And today we're talking about another Haikyuu episode from the To The Top season. And it's episode 4 called Take It Easy. And just from reading the title of it, I thought it was going to be Hinata, because you know how he's been working really hard? Mm-hmm. I thought it was something about him taking it easy, but we found out it's some of the other people in this training camps, from specifically the one that Hinata's at Hyakuzawa. Mm-hmm. So just a quick summary of the whole episode. It's Hinata is going to be training with some of the other students, and Tsukishima joins in. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like everyone has their own struggle and a different way that they practice and play the game. Mm-hmm. And we found out that Hinata kind of, from watching everything, he's starting to give advice to the other players. Mm-hmm. And we also get Kageyama too, where he's practicing, and we get an introduction of the white-haired player. And I don't think we got his name, but we got more information about him and his personality. Yeah. So that was the main points of the episode. So just going off of it, right at the beginning, we started where we ended off last episode, where Tsukishima's like, that guy, just watching him practice makes me feel like I need to do something. Mm-hmm. Is what he said at the end. And then he goes up to Hinata and he asks him if he can join in the practice. Mm-hmm. And then like Hinata's like surprised from it. Mm-hmm. And
because it's like Tsukishima, we've known him to be like the slack off guy.
Yeah.
Like he never really does anything until he really has to. Mm-hmm. And I guess he's kind of mad that he feels like, like what you say, he has to do something.
Yeah, it's like...
And he hates doing anything.
Yeah, it's like he does like just enough of what's asked of him.
And then we kind of saw that, I guess kind of like a result of him kind of slacking back a little bit when him and other two of them were blocking, and then he's saying that he's kind of shorter, or what do you call it, like
he's like, am I the shortest one now?
Yeah. And
I didn't know if he was referring to the height or from the jumps.
I felt like it was more from like the jump.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. I mean, they were jumping.
Yeah.
So then.
And it was the one spiking was the other server from the last episode with the dark hair, and they thought it was going to be a cross shot, and they all thought it was a cross shot because of how he drove up and kind of angled it when he was doing his jump, but it was a straight line shot, and he was able to get past the blockers, including Tsukishima. Mm-hmm. And Tsukishima was like playing it off and blaming it on the guy at the end.
Yeah, but he basically thought the same thing as everybody else. Mm-hmm. So, and knowing him, you would kind of expect him to be the smarter one. I mean, he's kind of like the one that strategized their gameplay with Karasuno in a way, but like he can predict stuff because he's a smart one.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was like the whole training part of the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see him actually putting in some effort and taking steps to better himself from this training camp, and not just like what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm proud of him for doing that. And then we jump over to Kageyama at the national training course, and I think it starts off with him like having lunch with this other guy. He's like, I'm so glad that what was he saying? He's like, the guy he was having lunch with or dinner. It's really hard to get to know people. Yeah. And then Kageyama's like, is this broccoli 1 or broccoli 2? Because just from the hair, the curly hair. So you can tell like he still has the same personality where he doesn't. Well, he cares about him, but it's like, it's not that important to me. We just need to play volleyball and be getting better. Mm-hmm. But the ones that standing out to him was Sakusa, where he was one of the top 3 players, and he approaches the table and he starts like grilling Kageyama about how did they beat Shiratorizawa. Mm-hmm. So what did you think about that whole interaction?
I feel like it's just trying to intimidate Kageyama, basically, but obviously it didn't work. And I guess they're just kind of, I don't know, like maybe they're expecting much more from Kageyama. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted that they beat Shiratorizawa the last time, and then now they're going to nationals. Mm-hmm. And I guess in a way they're wondering, how do they do that? Like Shiratorizawa is like a powerhouse volleyball team, like probably the top 1.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're genuinely wondering too, like, how the heck did y'all do it?
Yeah.
So
Like this-
it's almost like they also want to see more from Kageyama, and like.
Yeah, too. And I felt too like he was looking down on Kageyama just from the school that he was with, because he was asking, was Wakatoshi playing at his fullest?
Yeah, and they're kind of like, they're basically like talking crap.
Yeah.
About their school,
Yeah.
because I guess it's not expected. Like, it's very weird that they were able to beat the number one, the top one volleyball team. And then Kageyama's in this national youth training team too, and then they're just wondering like, how the heck did they do it?
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah, but I think you're right. He was just trying to like intimidate him and was like being really condescending about it.
Yeah.
But then Kageyama was able to like snap back at him, because he's like, I hadn't expected. What did he say? He's like, the way he was playing just seemed normal to him. Like the Sakusa guy that approached him, like he didn't see anything special about him. He was playing normal, like
normal,
everybody. Yeah, and he got real offended by that,
because he's like the top 3.
One of the top 3.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the people at the table like surprised that he would say something like that to him.
I mean, that's kind of like classic Kageyama.
Yeah. He's not just gonna sit there and take it.
Or at least he's not. Yeah, he's
got the attitude still.
Yeah, it's not gonna offend him. I mean, it's not gonna. If you talk crap about him in front of him, he's not gonna care much.
Yeah, but then going off of that, the one he does care about is the white-haired guy.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, he was just getting his food ready, but they said the guy he was sitting at the table with said he was crazy good. And that was like his words exactly. And that's the one he needs to look out for. And that's the one that Kageyama's actually been watching during the practices. So, like, I'm really interested to see how that guy plays. And we did get a taste of it. But
it's like, when Kageyama was playing with him, it's like, remember the white-haired dude, he was like, why are you just looking at me, like, with a flat face? Like, everybody that knows me, or, like, he even asked Kageyama, like, do you know me? Like, do you know who I am?
Oh, okay. So, you're talking about the scene after they were practicing?
Yeah, I just remember that interaction.
Yeah, because, like, right before that, just to kind of explain it a little bit, they were doing the practice, and then we get this beautiful animation of the guy where they set him up, and he's like running up, and you can see like the movement and how fluid it was, and it's just like him about to spike the ball.
He was like, he was very powerful the way he jumped up. He was very powerful and very fast, and he jumped really high. And then when he attacked the ball, it was a very powerful strong, spike. Fast hit on the ball.
And like you were saying, Kageyama was just staring at him after that, and it wasn't like out of fear, like he was saying. It was almost like he was analyzing him and kind of impressed by it. Yeah. Is that how you took it from the look he gave him?
Yeah, like it wasn't like it's intimidating for him. It's just more like, I mean, he was smiling.
Yeah, he was smiling.
We saw him smiling, so.
Yeah, but then he's like, do you know me? Like, why do you keep looking at me?
Yeah, like, dude. Because it's like, apparently, I guess he's known for being a very good volleyball, very intimidating volleyball player and talented one.
Yeah.
And for Kageyama to just not have that kind of emotion or attitude.
He didn't get the reaction he wanted.
From Kageyama.
He's like, have you seen any of my games? And Kageyama was like, nope.
Yeah, and so it kind of threw him off.
Yeah.
That Kageyama doesn't really care much about him, like how he wanted him to react.
Yeah, but it was.
I thought he was gonna be more like the quiet type.
Yeah, he seemed like it.
Like it almost seemed like he's gonna be like what's his name? From Hyakuzawa, the main guy. Like more
Wakatoshi?
Like more like cool, quiet, very composed kind of guy. And then he kind of reminded me of Hinata.
Yeah, he was like Hinata.
He reminded me of Hinata.
Yeah, the whole demeanor and then
he's apparently short. Because he mentioned that too, that like people underestimate him initially because of his height, and then when people see his games, everybody just gets impressed and scared and whatever.
Yep. And yeah, it did remind me of Hinata too.
Yeah.
And then, what did Kageyama say at the end? It's like he was getting information or something by watching him. That's why he was watching that other player.
Yeah.
So I think he's like using him as a template of how he's gonna work with Hinata later in the season. So that was pretty cool.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the whole interaction. And then we move on back. The rest of the episode happens in Shiratorizawa with the training camp in Hinata. But so Hinata's like analyzing them still. Mm-hmm. And same way, he's like getting the balls and everything, getting them water. Mm-hmm. And he's able to go back up top again. And he's watching Kunimi. Mm-hmm. That's how you pronounce it. Kunimi. And he was saying, people were complaining that he was being like lazy and he wasn't going for the balls. And they were just saying like, if you're going to be here, you might as well go, what are they saying, all out?
Yeah.
Like go all out. And that's like the phrase that he hates. Because he was like, he had that face like he was just really upset about it. But from playing him, Hinata knew that he conserves his energy early on.
And then he conserves his energy for the second half of the game.
So everyone else is tired and it's hard to deal with him because he's got more energy than them.
Yeah. And so it's not like he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, he's not just being lazy.
Yeah, he has a purpose. I mean, he's doing it for, with a reason, I guess. It's not just he's lazy or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then they were doing 2v2 drills too. And Hinata made the comment that whoever's on Kunimi's team doesn't really struggle and they have an easier time hitting the balls. And it's like they have more time. Mm-hmm. So they're able to make better plays. And just that observation is going to affect later in the episode. Because the big moment in all this was, what was his name? Hyakuzawa. Mm-hmm. The 2 meter tall player. And he's just struggling in this because he's only been playing, he started playing recently, right? And he's not as experienced as some of these other players.
Yeah, that's the main thing, like he's not as experienced. Yeah. And so I guess he's the weakest one. I mean, even though he's a pretty big, tall guy, if he's not using good skills, then it's basically useless.
Yeah, what's it going to do for him?
Yeah.
So he's, like, no one wants to be on his team. And, like, people were dreading because they had to pick up the slack that he's putting out.
And he knows that.
Yeah, he's aware.
It's not like he's
cocky or anything about it.
Or it's not like he doesn't know his weakness.
Yeah, he's well aware of what
he knows
what he's lacking,
and he feels bad about it too. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, so he's.
That's sad.
Yeah, it made him more human because we hadn't got any information about him. We just saw him getting. Well, it like humanized him, made him more relatable. But because like we just saw the clips with Washijo Sensei, like helping him train and kind of giving him extra help and being not. It's kind of like favoritism a little bit, but it's just being here just because he's really tall and powerful. Mm-hmm. So just seeing him show some emotion and how he was actually feeling, because they were doing the 2v2 and he was struggling, and you can see him being like frantic about it. Mm-hmm. So
and he was ready for the 2v2 game to be over.
Mm-hmm. He just wasn't.
And he mentioned that the 2v2 game, since there's only 2 people in the entire that in your area, instead of having 6 people, you have to you're moving all the time, and there's no time or place to do some tricks or special moves, because you just have to basically hit the ball. Yeah,
and you got to be like predicting everything and just skilled and just moving fast the whole time. Like there's very little room for error, and very room. But he's definitely struggling, and it's just getting worse and worse as the practice goes on. Mm-hmm. So they're having a break, and he's like sitting up against the wall, and Hinata comes to bring him some water, and he makes that really impactful comment how it should have been Hinata that was chosen to be at the practice instead of him. Mm-hmm. And then we just give a minute for that to soak in, and of course,
I feel like that's just him being insecure, because he knows that Hinata's a good player, even though he's short.
He's a starter at this
powerhouse
team. He's beaten like every person's theirs team. Every person that everybody there, he's beaten their team. And he just seemed like it was almost like he doesn't deserve to be there. Because he has no credibility or anything. Just him being tall.
I was actually wondering that. Like, I thought all of these people are supposed to have some kind of talent. You know? And then we get introduced to this character, Hyakuzawa, I think. Hyakuzawa, that's inexperienced. And then again, I remembered, because he's tall. That's why he's there.
I think it was just Coach Washijo that was wanting him there. Just by request. But... So he makes the comment to Hinata, and of course he doesn't just like agree with him because he's not that kind of person. He just sits there and he comforts him. He's like, if I could choose between being able to spike or being 2 meters tall, I'd definitely be 2 meters tall because I can always work on my spike. And he was just giving him a lot of encouragement and compassion towards him and not making him feel like crap or anything about the comment. And I'm sure Hinata, deep down, he did feel like it should have been me that was chosen. Or he wanted it really bad.
He knows that. Remember at the beginning, he was expecting to be called for something. Yeah. But he wasn't.
But instead of being like a scumbag about it, of course he takes the high road and comforts this guy.
He's that's classic Hinata.
Yeah,
He's
no matter what.
He's very nice and kind. So he was encouraging... Hyakuzawa and then kind of like back and forth they're complimenting each other like no, you're very talented, you're very skilled, you're short but you're really good. And then Hinata's like, no, but you're very tall, like you're, you can reach high, stuff and attack really good, blah blah blah. And so and then that made them feel better. And that made Hyakuzawa feel better.
Yeah, they shared that moment. And
emotional. As y'all can see who's the more emotional person.
Anyway, he's like, Hinata tells him, he's like, I want you to try this out in the game. He's like, but if it's anything skill related, I can't do it. He's like, no, don't worry, just try this. And then we see him tell him something. And then so they go back into 2v2 and
come on.
They're playing back and forth and they hit the ball up. And you can see him like being still in that frantic state, and then all of a sudden he jumps up and he jumps really, really high for this high ball, and you can see him just take a breath, and you see the shoulders relax, and he gets it, and instead of just trying to hit it back or hit it towards his teammate like as soon as he can, he hits it high up, and then because we find out that the comment that he made it for him to try was slow the game down like Kunimi does, give yourself more time and you can make a better play. So he just hits the ball up, give himself more time, and you can see the calmness just wash over him. And then you can see the confidence come back. And then his setter, of course, like has plenty of time, sets it up, and he's able to just slam it down with a spike. And that was one of my favorite moments during this episode. My favorite moment in this episode. That's what it was. But I was like,
and everybody was surprised too, because everybody was like, he can jump that high?
Yeah.
Like everybody was surprised because... Because he was able to do something that he hasn't been showing off, I guess. And so finally this time. Yeah. So he spikes it and then he like celebrates with his teammate. And Hinata's like, nice spike. Or like nice kill or however he says it. And he goes up to him and he just, they dap it up. But you can see that like he went all the way over there to Hinata. And Coach Washijo is just, he was watching him and he was just like this. And I think, because a little early in the episode, the assistant coach that was running the whole thing, he said Washijo made a face whenever Hinata made that winning spike against Shiratorizawa, but we didn't see the face. And I think it implied that it wasn't anger or anything. It was like, I'm thinking it was like astonishment, admiration. I don't know about admiration, but I feel like it's more like surprise that, this kid can do it.
And I think we get another taste of that face because it was just him and he didn't really react, but you can see he knows Hinata's talented for sure. And he's not just, he's not just bettering himself, but he's bettering everybody there at the camp, and he's making these connections with these people, and that's definitely a player you would want on your team and on your side. And it doesn't matter to him whether he's in the practice, if it's an opponent that he's making better, because he even made the comment, he's like, I want to beat you, and he wants to beat him when he's at his best. And that's how the episode ended, and it was really touching, especially that last part. That's good. I liked it. Did you have anything else? Any comments about it?
No.
I'm up here just.
I'm just ready for them to really meet up again. For Hinata and Kageyama to meet up again. That's all I've been waiting for. Yeah. But on the next episode, I feel like it's another kind of like a chill, relaxing episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We kind of saw it.
It was called Hunger. It was
Hunger.
It was really short. The clip they showed us.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, it could be metaphor hunger, like everybody's hungry for fighting strong or beating or playing strong opponents, or it could be hunger, like literally.
They're just gonna go eat.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? What was your favorite part? Was it that last part?
Sure.
All right.
I think my favorite part would be getting to know more of the white-haired guy. Since I've really been wanting to see more of those new characters. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. I give this one on probably like an 8 out of 10. 8 or 7.
It's pretty high.
7.5 out of 10. Just because of that last part, it's got me.
5.
5? What? Okay. Well, everybody, thank y'all for watching. Let us know what y'all thought about the episode. Thanks for listening. And anything else?
Like and subscribe, and watch our other videos too. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time.